There's a school teacher in Ohio by the name of David Spondike. He teaches music. That seems lovely. He's in Akron. Leads the orchestras. Seems like a swell guy. Unless you go trick-or-treating in his neighborhood in the wrong kind of way, and then a very vicious side of David Spondike comes out. He recently wrote on Facebook, "I don't mind if you come from the ghetto to trick-or-treat. Uh-oh. But when you whip out your teeny dicks and piss on the telephone pole in front of my front yard and a bunch of preschoolers and toddlers, you can take your nigger ass back where it came from. I don't have anything against anyone of color, but niggers stay out." And look, on the Young Turks, we have the policy of if they write out the N-word or they say it, we say it too. And in this case, you get the sense of his hostility from how he said it, how he spelled it, from every part of it, right? Now, he doesn't have anything against black people. There's a couple of good ones. It's the niggers he doesn't like, right? And when challenged on this, he's like, flummoxed, like, what, me? Let me give you more quotes. He says he welcomes people who come from dangerous neighborhoods to mine, so their children can safely trick-or-treat. Does he seem like he's really welcoming them? From those dangerous neighborhoods. If they're black, they're obviously from a dangerous neighborhood. Now, look, are there some black folks that live in the United States of America from dangerous neighborhoods? Of course there are. So also some white folks, but whatever, right? Is it right for you to get frustrated if some guy pisses on your lawn or the telephone pole? Whether it's your yard or there's kids around, of course you have a right to be frustrated. He would have been 100% on the right if he was angry in every way without generalizing the entire race, I'm sorry, except for a couple of good ones, as the N-word, right? So it's like, I get the frustration, man, but you're not helping your cause. And apparently he's in a school with a lot of African-American kids. And do you really trust this guy to judge the black kids in the school fairly? Come on, we're not anywhere near done. His apologies make it even worse. Not really apologies, explanations. He says, "You are a criminal." By the way, your grammar is criminal and you should be fired based on that alone as a teacher. "You're our criminal and are not welcome in my neighborhood, and you should not be welcome in your own." Which begs the question of where would they be welcome? Apparently nowhere, if you listen to David Spondike. This guy's a teacher of kids. He continues, "That is why you have come to mine to trick or treat. Do not treat my neighborhood like you do your own. I have the right not to be like you." See, to me, that's really telling, because that's him saying, like, I know how you all are, right? And by the way, you don't need the heavy implication. He called them N-words many times, right? We got one more quote coming up. But basically him saying, like, white people are different, black people are team. I don't need to be like you, right? I can't have this guy teaching black kids. This is crazy. Finally, he says, "Racism is racism, and to allow one race to use a word and not another is racist. What I said was absolutely not racist by any stretch of the imagination." Really? By any stretch of the imagination? When you call those kids the N-word over and over again? Like no one can believe that you're a racist? So he thinks that calling young kids the N-word is not racist. But blacks being able to use that word and whites not being able to use that word, well, that's the true act of racism. And all he's doing is trying to combat that. You see that? African Americans, it turns out he's on your side. JR, are you buying that he's on your side? Oh, well, JR's not here. I didn't know that. All right, any random person. Jesus, what do you think? Because JR gave me the story, by the way. I know, JR's black, so you're going to ask JR. I got it. Okay.
No, I agree that he shouldn't even be a teacher. If he has those sentiments seated deep inside him, there's no way he should be passing his biased view of things to kids. Like, he probably wouldn't do it consciously, but subconsciously he probably would.
Yeah, I think so too. And finally, the Akron School Superintendent David James says the remarks were specifically aimed at a teenager who exposed himself and urinated in front of young children in the past weekend. Right. Now, that's true, and as I said, that's disgusting, and you've got every right to be angry about that. But it seems like the superintendent's saying he doesn't think they're all the N-word, he just thinks that guy was the N-word. It's not a good enough reason. And he has been put on administrative leave, but it appears that the superintendent should fire David Spondike, because I don't trust him in that classroom at all to be fair to all the kids. By the way, he once reprimanded a fellow teacher for not yelling at some of the students for wearing saggy pants. So it's not a guy who just woke up one day and got really angry and said some things he shouldn't have said that he regrets. He doesn't apologize for them, and apparently he's had this attitude for a long time. No way I trust that guy to be fair to every kid in that school. He should be fired immediately.